Hi everyone, this is Satyam and welcome back to my channel. So, how many of you get nervous in an interview? I guess many of us, right? But after watching this video today, you will be really confident in any of the upcoming interviews. I'm here with 5 tips that will help you boost your confidence as well as prevent you from getting nervous in any of the interviews. One thing that we all have to understand is that whoever is interviewing us has also gone through this phase. He or she might have also given some interviews someday and has reached at this position that they are interviewing us today. And this is a cycle which has to go on forever. So we have to answer the questions of the interview in a very impressive manner for once and for all till we get the job. And so this is the psychological part. But then practically, we all get nervous and we have to overcome that. So I'll be telling you 5 tips now which will help you fight back this nervousness and become more and more confident and answer very impressively. So tip number 1 is you have to be well prepared with your answers. You have to formulate your answer, your stories, your response for any question that the interviewer might ask, because there are a number of questions which we can guess that this question will be put to us. So we have to formulate an answer beforehand. Like you have to formulate everything about yourself. Why do you want to change your job? Or what is the current profile that you're working for? How many years of experience do you have? Why are there gaps in your resume? You have to be prepared with such answers. What do you know about the job description? What do you know about the company? Why did you apply for this position? Why do you suddenly want to change your job when you have worked for only 3 months in the previous company, or you have worked for only 6 months in the previous company? So you have to, have a defensive answer which has to be really impressive also. And so you have to formulate your stories. If there are any kind of gaps in your resume, or the kind of internships that you underwent, what did you do during the internship phase? So you have to know what exactly you are going to say when such a question is put to you. And if you formulate your response pre-hand, trust me, you are going to crack that interview 100%. There will absolutely be no doubt that you are not going to crack that interview. So preparing beforehand is always good. Any day it's good, and it's going to make you win in any scenario. Trust me, even if it's the case of presentation, any webinar, if you are well prepared beforehand that I'm going to speak these things to the audience, I'm going to give these many examples, or I'm going to put forward my thoughts in this particular way, then you are going to rock that presentation, rock that webinar. Tip number 2 is if there is an online interview, which is mostly the case these days the face-to-face interviews are not taking place, I guess. Mostly the interviews are via online mode. So in case of an online interview, what you can do, you can practice speaking in front of the camera, and you can make a video like how you're speaking, just to check your expressions, just to check your smile, and how much are you smiling? Are you too serious, or are you smiling too much? What kind of answers are you giving? How confident do you look in the video? You can check all that. This will be a kind of feedback to your personality, and in this situation you will be able to rectify if there are any kind of mistakes in your personality, or if you are not giving answers appropriately, or if you are too serious, or if you are not smiling appropriately. You can check all these things, rectify all these things beforehand, before an interview. So for an online interview, you can make your own videos, you can practice in front of the camera, and you can check the quality of answers that you are giving. And in case of a face-to-face interview, you can practice in front of the mirror, like how you're walking, how you're talking, how you're dressed up, how you're smiling, how you're answering. You can check everything. So yeah, so this is tip number 2. Tip number 3 is, I have already told you in my previous video that you have to be presentable. You have to look groomed up. So for that, you have to wear neat and clean clothes, which has to be formals. Your hair should be tied mostly, and in case of guys, the beard should be absolutely in shape. So these things are to be taken care of. You cannot completely ignore the presentation part, because you have to look presentable, because this is something which will instill a lot of confidence in you. A person who is groomed up, who is presentable, half of the thing is already done. You know that you're looking presentable. The only thing that you have to do now is 50% of the work, that you have to present whatever content you have in your mind, you have to present it confidently and in a very impressive manner. So tip number 4 is you have to focus on them and not on yourself. It means like first of all you have to look into the camera while you speak, and then you have to give your answers in such a format that they are according to the expectation and they are communicated in a correct format, that whatever you are speaking, the same thing is understood by the interviewer. They should not understand something else. So it's your duty to make that communication flawless, and there should not be any communication gap. And this is something which is very important, because many a times what happens is that the person is speaking something else, the interviewer is understanding something else, because there is some problem in communicating. So the communication has to be crystal clear, the noise has to be reduced. So yeah, this is tip number 4. So the last tip is, I have already mentioned in one of my previous video, you have to choose a place which is well lit, which has least noise and which has good connectivity. Make yourself comfortable before an interview, maybe 15 minutes prior to the interview, and whatever mode you are choosing, laptop or mobile phone, whatever software and whatever app, you have to be well acquainted with that. You should know how to, switch on the camera, mute the call, like attach any kind of attachment, any document if they ask during the course of an interview. You should know how to type messages between the interview. So if you know all these things, if you are acquainted with the kind of software you are using, you will be very confident. These 5 tips are going to work wonders for you, and you are going to be really, really confident during the course of an interview, and you are surely going to crack that. And amongst the 5 tips, if you ask me like which is the most important one, I'll tell you the first tip. So prepare well, prepare your answers, formulate your answers well, and scripted answers are really good. You should write up whatever you are going to speak up. Whatever you want to tell about yourself, about your experience, about your job profile, about the company, about the JD, everything. Formulate your answers perfectly. I'm telling you this again and again, because this is something which is going to make a difference in the interview, which is not going to let you be nervous, and which is going to make you confident and your answers impressive, and you're going to crack that interview. And with this, I come to the end of today's video. And I also want to tell you all one more thing, is that I got a lot of resume from your end. Thank you so much for that. And I have reverted to most of you with the corrected version of your resume, and so you must have seen in all the mails that I have sent you, I have already told you that please mention your years of experience at the top of your resume. A recruiter, a sourcing specialist should not keep on going through the resume and search for the number of years that you have worked. They should not be counting on the fingertips, okay, this person has worked for these many years. It's your duty to tell the recruiter that you have worked for these many years. Even if there are gaps, just total the total number of years and write it on the top. 5 years, 5.7 years, 7.5 years, 12 years, whatever it is. Because I have seen resumes where I had to do this work quite a number of times. I was counting through the experiences. This is something which I was not expecting, because this shouldn't be happening. Even if I make my own resume or of somebody else, then what we have to do, we have to write a name, designation, number of years of experience, and then you have to proceed with whatever you want to write about yourself, whatever is the format of a resume, you have to follow that. But before that, you have to mention the number of years of experience. Please take care of this thing. This is really important. And so guys, if you are new to my channel, then please make sure to subscribe, and please do not forget to hit the bell icon to be notified any further. Hit a like if you genuinely like today's video, and share it with your friends. And I'll see you in my next video with another interesting topic. Till then, stay tuned, keep watching, keep smiling, stay back at home, stay safe. Bye-bye. Take care.